The sky was a deep, foreboding gray, like a canvas painted with the darkest of inks. The trees swayed in the wind, their branches creaking out a mournful melody that sent shivers down my spine. I stood at the edge of my porch, sipping on a lukewarm cup of coffee, trying to shake off the feeling of unease that had been plaguing me all morning. The air was crisp and cold, with a hint of wood smoke carried on the breeze. I wrapped my arms around myself, feeling the chill seep into my bones. My phone, which had been silently by my side, suddenly sprang to life, shrill and insistent in the stillness. I hesitated for a moment, wondering who could be calling, before picking it up to answer. The voice on the other end was low and gravelly, like the rustling of dry leaves. It spoke no words, only a steady, monotonous hum that sent a shiver down my spine. I tried to hang up, but my hands seemed frozen in place, unable to move or speak. The hum grew louder, more insistent, until I felt my heart pounding in my chest like a drum. As I stood there, paralyzed with fear, the hum suddenly stopped. The line went dead, and I was left staring at the phone in confusion. I tried to shake off the feeling of unease, telling myself it was just a prank call, but the memory of that low, gravelly voice lingered, refusing to be shaken. I tried to distract myself by checking my phone, but there was no caller ID, no record of the call. It was as if the call had never happened. But I knew it had, and that knowledge only seemed to make things worse. I felt like I was being watched, like unseen eyes were trained on me from the shadows. I tried to shake off the feeling, telling myself it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. But as I looked around, I saw nothing but the dark, foreboding trees, their branches creaking ominously in the wind. The air seemed to grow colder, more oppressive, and I felt a presence closing in around me. I knew I had to get out of there, to get away from the feeling of unease that was suffocating me. But as I turned to go back inside, I saw something that made my blood run cold. On my phone, a message had appeared, in plain black letters, "I'm still here." I spun around, but there was no one in sight. The trees seemed to loom over me, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. I felt a scream building in my throat, but it was trapped, unable to escape. And then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the message vanished. I stood there, frozen in terror, as the wind howled through the trees. The darkness seemed to press in around me, making it hard to breathe. And then, just as I thought things couldn't get any worse, my phone rang again. This time, there was no hum, no voice. Just a steady, pulsing tone that seemed to vibrate through every cell in my body. I knew I had to answer, had to know who was on the other end. But as I picked up the phone, I knew I was making a terrible mistake. As I listened to the tone, I felt a presence closing in around me, a presence that seemed to be watching me, waiting for me. And then, just as suddenly as it had started, the tone stopped. I was left standing there, staring into the darkness, waiting for something to happen. And then, in a flash of insight, I knew the truth. I wasn't being watched, I was the one watching. I was the one making the calls, the one who was trapped in my own mind, reliving the same moment over and over again. The darkness closed in, and I screamed, but my voice was lost in the void.